BJ!
32!
BJ!
32!
BJ!
Fast food workers under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Fast food workers under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight
Say,
back!
what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Fast food workers under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, fast food workers under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
32!
Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Hernandez. I am 32BJ member in the commercial division. I am part of 32BJ's fast food organizing brigade. I am so excited to be here with all of you today, especially with Mayor Bill de Blasio, and with our union president, Kyle Bragg, with the amazing Chipotle worker who has been fighting for a union with 32BJ SIU. We are all here today to say, pay up Chipotle. It's time for Chipotle to pay workers and the city for violating the Fair Workweek Law. Fast food workers with support from 32BJ won Fair Workweek protection to make fast food job good family sustaining jobs. But Chipotle need to follow the law and need to pay up for breaking the law. I've been a member of 32BJ for 14 years, and now I am taking time away from my job as cleaner to tell fast food worker about my experience and a union member and what is the mean to have a union voice on the job. Having union means that we don't have to fight every day on our own to get our employers to follow the law. It means respect on the job. I am so amazed by everything Chipotle workers and other New York City workers have accomplished already. From paid sick leave to the 15 minimum wage to Fair Workweek protection to the Just Cause protection going to affect this summer. I can't wait to see how much more we'll win with a union voice on the job. Now, one fight! One fight! Now, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Kyle Bragg, the president of Union Local 32BJ.
Thank you, Jenny. So good afternoon, I am Kyle Bragg, and I'm president of SEIU Local 32BJ. And our union is here to stand up with frontline fast food workers. And we're here to tell Chipotle it's time to pay up. Yeah. It's time to pay up. Yeah. I want to thank our mayor, Bill de Blasio, for being with us here today, for always being on the side of workers, fighting for better lives in this city. Our union fought alongside of fast food workers to win New York City's Fair Workweek protections, to turn an unstable fast food jobs into secure jobs with full-time hours. But Chipotle has failed. Let me say it again. Chipotle has failed to follow the law. Chipotle workers have been on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic from the beginning, but still worry about how they will pay their bills while they struggle to get stable jobs with full-time hours. It's time for Chipotle to follow the law, and it's time for Chipotle to pay the workers what the city what they owe them. Chipotle's on the hook for almost $500 million. That's $150 million to the workers that they owe, and $300 million in civil penalties that they owe by violating the Fair Workweek Law. And they must pay up. They must pay up, and they must pay up now.
Pay up now. Pay up now.
Pay up now. Pay up now. Pay up now. Pay up now. And speaking of paying up, workers have been on the streets demanding raises from Chipotle. And on Monday, you might have seen or heard in the press that the company finally announced that raises are coming. But Chipotle isn't guaranteeing a wage increase for every worker, or even $15 for all workers. Chipotle is saying their starting minimum wage will remain as low as $11 an hour. This is not a wage that you can live off. It's not a wage that you can support a family off. And here in New York City, Chipotle workers haven't had a raise in 3 years. And Chipotle wants, let's give them a big boo. And Chipotle wants to make a real impact on these workers' lives. They should guarantee every worker in every part of the country a minimum wage of $15 an hour. Raises for all of New York City workers for at least $2 more an hour than the $15 they're getting now. And pay those workers the $150 million that they owe them. They're owed by Chipotle for violating the Fair Workweek Law. But their announcement on Monday seems more like a publicity grab, an attempt to get good press, than to actually do right by these workers. From violating Fair Workweek Act to failing to inform workers of COVID-19 exposure, to failing to protect workers from being bitten by rats, Chipotle hasn't prioritized workers' rights or safety. That's why fast food workers need a union. That's why we, together with the workers, 32BJ, will be keeping the pressure up until workers win the union and have a voice on the job. A voice that demands dignity, a voice that demands respect, a voice that demands safe working conditions. And that's why we're here today. That's why we'll be standing with them every day until we achieve justice. Justice now. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. Jenny.
Thank you so much, Kyle, for leading our union and for fighting to lift up all workers. $500 million. Can you imagine what worker and our city could do with that money? It's time for Chipotle pay up. Throughout our fight, we've had an unwavering champion in City Hall. And next up is the champion, the one and only New York City Mayor, Bill de Blasio.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you for all you are doing to fight for working people. Kyle Bragg, you don't back down from a fight. You don't back down from a fight, even against a giant multinational corporation. You know no fear, and you will prevail. You will prevail. That's right. Everybody, I am standing around a group of people who fight and win, who never give up, who believe in the power of working people. This organization I have the pleasure of joining today is called 32. BJ! 32. BJ! 32. BJ! That sounded good. You know what does not sound good? Chipotle cheating its workers. Let's be clear. Everyone out there in New York City, Chipotle is cheating its workers. They are getting rich, and they're literally taking pay away from the people who serve your food. They are breaking the law shamelessly. This is what's going on. Chipotle thinks they're so wonderful, so special, and that we're all not going to notice that they're breaking the law, but we did notice in New York City. and we are not going to let them get away with it. They violated the Fair Workweek Law that this union fought so hard for. What does that mean? It means giving working people the dignity of knowing when they have to work, treating them like human beings, not cogs in the machine. And it's the law. And Chipotle brazenly violated that law. Paid sick leave, something we believe in New York City, protecting families, protecting working people, never forcing them to choose between a day's pay and getting well when they're sick. Chipotle violated that law too. They are law breakers, period. And they will pay. They will pay because we will be in court ensuring that what they've done is stopped and that they pay the workers just compensation. We're talking here about hundreds of millions of dollars. This is not a minor matter. This is brazen. Now, if anyone out there is worried about Chipotle because it's been a pandemic, maybe business was slow, well, let me tell you a few facts. Revenue, Chipotle revenue last year topped $6 billion. Stock price soared 66%. But the one that bothers me the most, the CEO took home $38 million last year while he cheated working people out of their pay. And that is disgusting. So I want to thank Kyle Bragg. Thank you for standing up. 32BJ, thank you for standing up. Thank you for never being afraid. But here's my message to Chipotle, my personal message to Chipotle. We don't want your burritos. We don't want your rice and beans. We just want you to give dignity to working people and stop this madness. If you break the law, we will get you. We will stop you. But otherwise, I'm not going near a Chipotle. I don't think anyone else should too. Because I don't want to give a single dollar to a company that cheats working people. Chipotle, guess what? The whole world is watching. So get right, or you're going to have to pay up, and we will see you in court.
Keep your votes. Pay your workers what you owe. Keep your tacos, keep your bowls. Pay your workers what you owe. Keep your tacos, keep your bowls. Pay your workers what you owe. Keep your tacos, keep your bowls. Pay your workers what you owe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's a good one there. I've heard a lot of chants. I've never heard that one. And brother, what's your name? Ron? Ron does not need a microphone, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't need a microphone ever. God bless him.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for standing with fast food workers from the beginning and for continuing to show that New York City values worker rights about corporate greed. Next, I'd like to introduce Chipotle workers as Blasio, who can talk about that it's like on the front lines. What?
Hi, my name is Edward Blasio and I work at Chipotle. Thank you for being here with Chipotle workers today, and thank you especially to the mayor for standing with us in our fight. Winning Fair Workweek protections was a huge victory for Chipotle workers and for all fast food workers in New York City. But Chipotle has acted like they think they are above the law. We went on strike to get Chipotle to follow the law on access to hours. Now I'm finally up to 33 hours a week, but we shouldn't have had to fight so hard to get Chipotle to do the right thing and follow the law. For too long, I had to scramble to get enough hours to pay my bills. I was scraping by each month trying to pick up other people's shifts so that I could make enough money to get by. It feels like Chipotle never does anything for workers out of the kindness of their hearts. Chipotle only does the right thing when we make them do it, by striking, by taking to the streets. Now they announce that they're finally raising pay for some workers, after years of us fighting to get pay increases. In New York City, many of my coworkers have been stuck at minimum wage for 3 years without a raise. And Chipotle shouldn't be bragging about increasing workers' pay by $1 or $2 in some places when their CEO is one of the highest paid in the world. His pay went up from $14 million to $38 million last year. But Chipotle hasn't put resources into following the Fair Workweek Law or paid workers what they owe. The only way things are going to get better for the long haul is if we win a union. That's why Chipotle workers like me have been organizing for a union with 32BJ, and that's why we're going to keep on fighting. I just want to close once again by saying thank you, Mayor de Blasio, for joining fast food workers today and saying, pay up, Chipotle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ed, for sharing your story, and thank you for speaking up on behalf of your co-worker at Chipotle. We have another Chipotle speaker. I'd like to introduce Al Diaz.
How you guys doing out there? Good afternoon. My name is Al. I am a disabled veteran, and I have two teenage kids. I've been working at Chipotle for over 3 years now. Chipotle more than doubled their CEO's pay in the middle of a pandemic. But the company makes us fight just to get them to follow the law and pay workers what they're owed. What is $15 to a company that pays its CEO $18,000 an hour? That's paying $15, it's peanuts to them. That's chump change. But they still won't guarantee every worker across the country at least $15, at least an hour. I remember when managers were forging signatures just to not have to pay us our premiums that we're supposed to get for working extra hours or what it is, according to the Fair Workweek Law. It feels like Chipotle has their hands in our pockets, and they continue to take, they're stealing pennies. It's like stealing pennies. And for what? This is a $1 billion company. They have more than enough money. What we need is a union. What we need is a raise. And what we need is for Chipotle to pay the hell up. Chipotle has signs and posters all over their stores about how to wash your hands and how to proper hygiene. But yet again, here we are fighting with them to post signs of our rights at the job. We're all socially distant here today, and that's a good thing. But that does not mean that Chipotle should socially distance themselves from the law. Chipotle has to pay us, the co-workers, and the city what we're owed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone who joined us here today. We're going to keep on fighting and keep demanding pay up Chipotle. This is the time to say, pay up Chipotle. Pay up Chipotle. Pay up Chipotle. Pay up Chipotle.
Pay up Chipotle! 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 32! BJ! 32! BJ! 32! BJ!